God. Ask God.
Hi, Scott. It's Christian from the UK. Just want to say thank you so much for this podcast and all the information you give out for free. I've been totally engrossed in them for the last 2 months. I've got all the way through them. And I'm now in the point of product research. So say hi to Brody for me, because I'm at home delving into this after I've been tracking some products for the last couple of weeks. My dog Bella says hi too. Bella is single, but I think a bit too big for Brody. She's a Belgian Shepherd. Anyway, back to my question. It's about the depth of market. Now, I've found a product which wasn't in my original category search and ideas, but the product itself has potential. It's the top 16 sellers for my keywords are all selling over the 300 a month, some 500 to 600 a month. The reviews are easily challengeable, with some only having 9 or 10 reviews, and they're spread out across the top 16 for that particular keyword. The price point is around about $15 to $25, some are $30, and the actual listings of the top 16 are pretty poor, to the point that some only have one photo, some have no bullet points, some have no product descriptions, and every one I've looked at, I've thought I can improve on this, definitely can improve on this. The product itself is also lightweight, easily sourced, and easily either bundled or personalized and brandable, with no big companies dominating the market. So my problem is that for that keyword, there is several pages of products within that keyword, and you can just keep going down page after page. And using Jungle Scout, people are just not selling further down. But the top 16 is where I've been focusing on. But my mind always goes back to there's a lot of people trying to sell similar products, all being pretty poorly. So my question is, would that be a concern for you? How would you look further? How would you look deeper? Because all the tick boxes are there except just this one little niggle. So I guess the question is, would you look further, or would you run away from that? The category is, the main category is more competitive than what I was looking at originally. But the subcategory itself, there's definitely room to get in there. So yeah, that's my question. Your thoughts would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day. Hope you're well. Bye.
Hey, Kristen from the UK. What's up? Thank you so much for the question. And thank you so much for the offer for Brody. But yeah, a little too big. Yeah, I mean, okay, we just kind of talked about that in the last question, but I did want to address yours as well, because they're related in a sense, because okay, first off, if this is a completely different category, so we're talking about like 2 different brands, well, you know, I always like to focus on the one thing that I'm focusing on and then shelf the other thing, because it's going to distract you. But if we're saying like it's just in another category, but it does align with your first product, then maybe it still works. But let's just say, for example, you're starting from scratch, and let's forget about your first thing that you're working on. Let's just talk about this for a minute, because it sounds like, you know, people are, you know, not really doing a good job as far as marketing it, or, you know, with your images, or even the listings and all of that stuff, but they're still making some pretty good sales. And so what you're saying is like page 1, the numbers look really good. Okay. So the first thing I would probably do is I would validate those numbers by going over to camel.com, and I'd look at some of those ones that look really easy. And I would say, let me see and make sure that these aren't ones that just kind of popped up recently and they're doing a promotion, and that's how they're getting on page 1. Now, I recently I say recently, all the way back on episode 189 now. Sounds weird saying all the way back to 189 because we're at 223 now. But on episode 189, I did a episode called Product Research Validation: The Full Workflow, How to Reduce the Risk. And really that's all about finding like those hot spots, let's say, and then being able to make sure that you're not being fooled by the numbers that are showing on, Jungle Scout or any other tool that you're using by using Camel or Google Trends or any of those. So it might be worth it to check that out as well. Again, that's episode 189. I'll link all this stuff up in the show notes for everyone as well. This episode is 223. So you can check that stuff out. But that episode there, again, I think would be helpful because you do want to look at the page one numbers. And I just recently did this as we're talking about this. The numbers looked really, really good. And I just wanted to validate it. I went straight to Camel. And, we just went through it and we were able to see that, no, the numbers are actually very accurate. And, it's been selling for longer than just a month or two, and those are the things that you want to do. But here's my other thought is, like you said, it's more competitive than you were thinking. My thought would be, and my question to you would be, is there any other product that could be sold with this product? So now you stand out amongst everyone else. So is there a product that's being frequently bought together with this that you could make part of your package, or maybe even a variation of that package? So you could sell this as its own thing, right? Maybe make the packaging stand out a little bit better, or maybe improve upon it in some way. And then from there, you can sell that as its own variation, but then you can have another variation that you throw in another popular or another item that people are buying with this. So now when they go to your one listing and they're drawn in from there, you're able to also capitalize on that other product that people are looking for. So that would be another thought, and it's going to separate yourself from everyone else because you offer it, making it a little bit harder for other people to kind of piggyback on that idea. But the other thing I would do is go right through the reviews, and I would look at the reviews and see what people are saying that they wish it had, or that they were complaining about, and then improving upon yours if it's possible. And then from there, marketing that improvement. Okay. And I think that's a good lesson for anyone. If you can market the improvement and kind of shine the light on the problem that people are complaining about from buying another one of your competitions, then from there, it's going to allow people to see that. The other thing is too, and I'm not looking at this stuff, but you said the images are poorly done. Man, oh man, I'll tell you what, we've been seeing some really cool results from different images. And we just did a hot seat session with Carl, and that was on episode 222. So that was just a recent one that we just did. So if you didn't listen to that one, you're definitely going to want to check that one out, because that one there, we go through someone who's currently selling and has a similar problem here. And that is that, he's got a product, it's up, but he's not getting any sales, but he's got enough demand there, but his pictures weren't that good. We talked about how to improve them, lifestyle pictures and how to have a better main image. And then also your title and, just different optimization stuff that you can do there, your pay-per-click, all of that stuff. And I know I'm kind of running a little bit away from this question, from the direction that I was going, but that episode was really, really solid. So I would definitely check that out. That's episode 222, the one just before this episode. So definitely check that out, because we talk about going to Camel and making sure that those front page results are accurate and to kind of see what we can expect. So I'm not really sure if this was that helpful for you, but kind of going through that process, that's how I would be thinking about it if you and I were sitting across that table and I was giving you this advice. So I'd be like, your homework is to do this, this, and this, just what I just covered. And that would be your homework. All right. So anyone else listening out there, it's really important to look at the numbers that Jungle Scout or any other tool that you're using is giving us. But then it's really important also to go back and make sure that you're doing the right research to dig a little bit deeper, beyond those numbers and kind of go through the history. And then going through the reviews. I think it's really important to go through those reviews to start to see what other people are saying about the product. The other thing too is all of the things that people are saying negatively. Yes, you want to put them in there, but also people, when they're starting to talk positively about a product, you want to also recognize those, because they may not be calling that stuff out, and you may be able to use that in some of your sales copy. Just another little tip there for you. So hopefully this has helped you.
Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session, and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business. And this way here, you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.